This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social. Delighted to be joined by the trainer of the new IBF Super Lightweight Champion of the World, Josh Taylor, Shane McGuigan. How you doing, Shane?
Good, thanks, mate. It's not too late for us. It's come up to 2:30, so we've done later ones, haven't we? This one definitely is probably the best feeling because IBF World Champion, Josh Taylor. Boom. 4 years in the making. Worked together for 4 years, and now he's crowned champ. So it's brilliant.
Now, as you've just mentioned there, I mean, you've had Josh since he turned pro. How satisfying is that? I mean, I know it's very different scenarios with George, and obviously George came to a very different stage of his career. Not trying to compare the two, but having Josh from day one, how special is that for you?
Very special, you know. I mean, I worked with Cole from very, very early on in his career, so it's very similar feeling. But it's just nice. It's nice to see that, you know, someone believing in you as much as you believe in them, they're believing in you as well. And going through the 4 years together, you got to build that rapport. You got to build that connection with your fighter, and you know, it's like something that I pride myself on, feeling like I live it with him, you know, and I believe that's what gets the best out of JT, out of Josh Taylor. So yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant to see it happen, you know, and it's just so quick. It just feels like, literally, it feels like yesterday. He come down and like we had a meeting in the Butcher and Grill in Battersea, and we all sat around the table, and then he, basically saying, "This is what we got mapped out for you. But do you believe in the process?" And he said yes. There's been a lot of flack, people saying this and that about us, but he's stuck with the process, and he's believed. So he's champion. He's got a huge future.
15 fights, which is incredible. It seems like titles are coming to fighters sooner and sooner these days, but still 15 fights is a remarkable period of time to not only win a world title. I mean, Josh has had big fights throughout that. Just what does that say about, first of all, Josh, and also your dynamic as trainer and fighter, that he's had those tests in just 15 fights and become world champion?
Yeah, it's believing in his ability, and then him believing in it as well, and then great matchmaking. You know, my dad's done a great job career, like mapping out his career, and it's such a close team. You know what I mean? And 15 fights later, and you know, he's IBF World Champion and won it. You know, in a hard fight, but the right way. You know, it's a bit gutted that he didn't get his belt, but because Baranchyk forgot it or something like that. So, but I remember at the press conference, Inui's record was read out, and it was like 17-0 with 15 knockouts, and he's a 3-weight world champion. I said to Josh, I says, "Mate, you're a little bit behind that." But he laughed. But you know, Inui there's less people in those divisions, and there's less gaps as well to jump up through the weights. So it's a pretty remarkable achievement, and yeah, as I said, it feels like yesterday. Like, it feels like yesterday. We were all sitting around, and he says, "You're going to be world champion." He was like, "I know. Where do I sign and when do I get started?" Had his debut in El Paso. You know, he's boxed in Vegas. He's boxed around the world. You know, he's on big shows. So, and now this is his defining moment in Glasgow. We really pushed the tournament to get a couple of fights in Glasgow. We said we need 2 fights in the UK. Obviously, they're not going to go anywhere but Glasgow because it's such a great arena. And they stuck to their word, so they delivered that too. Hopefully, we can try and get the final back here. But you know, to be crowned champion after doing, you know, after traveling, after, you know, having his as I said, debut in El Paso, and then, you know, boxing the acid test like the Ahara Davies, and then the Victor Postel fights, and quite a few pullouts as well with him. A lot of people just didn't really want to fight him, so, and he's got his opportunity to grasp it with both hands. It's amazing.
How is he different, and how is he the same from that meeting that you had with him in Battersea? How is he different? How is he the same?
Maturity-wise, he's
Just our Regis Progress just appeared behind us.
he's going to try and start spoiling my interview. You can go ahead. I'll beat the winner. Yeah, they're playing ping pong there. So yeah, no, he's the same. He's the same guy. You know, a few years older. He's filled out into the weight. Very, very, you know, very, very mature fighter, and you know, in that space of time, he's like Josh. You know, he's always been like extremely. He's always had a lot of fight in him, but it's managing him, making sure that he knows that, you know, he doesn't doubt himself or doesn't get overhyped up and riled up, and that's why he's got this nickname that, you know, Hank. It's because it's like me, myself, and Irene, because he's got two sides to him. So, you know, we'll put that on the back of the t-shirt today just to remind him to bring out that little bit of crazy side, and he did.
What did you make of his performance against Baranchyk? All action fight from start to finish. We had cuts, had knockdowns. Both fighters appeared hurt at stages. What did you make of his performance?
I mean, personally, it was he fought too much. You know, he sort of made it hard work for himself, but made it entertaining. And this is the entertainment business. You know, he didn't want to go and box the head off. Not so much box. Not that he didn't want to, but he knows that you've got to impress in these fights, and you've got to want people to make, you know, you want people to want to tune in, and he wants to end up one day being a pay-per-view fighter, and you know, he won't do that by stinking the place out, you know, and grabbing. He could have held, tied Baranchyk up, diffused him plenty. But you know, and then, you know, and sort of kept it a bit longer. But yeah, he was getting so much success in short as well. So took far too many shots, you know. And then he had the head clash, and he was in the 5th, 2 knockdowns in the 6th, and then tried to finish him in the 7th. Took his foot off the gas in the 8th. Then had another really push in the 10th, decent 9th, push in the 10th. And then came out, and then Baranchyk came out winging in the last. You know, we knew he was gonna go guns blazing, weather the storm, and then that fight in him just come out of nowhere, and you know, made Baranchyk realise that, you know, his work was wide and wasn't hurting him, and he beat him up for the last minute. So he wanted to finish strong and show that, you know, he's not gonna sort of just run away and nick the last round. Do you know what I mean? He wanted to finish strong and just be like, look, I beat you in every department. Now go home.
No, I watched you in the corner when Josh scored the 2 knockdowns. You were trying to calm him down and that, which people can't see, so I don't know why I did it. Why was that?
Because it's just because I wanted to pick the right shots. You know, when you got a guy hurt like that, you need to make sure that you're keeping him calm and also pointing out what shots are working. And what's weird is the right hook was the shot that nailed him, but the right hook was there all night, but he was chopping it and he wasn't lifting it. So he was sort of waiting too long for the perfect shot, rather than if you watch Terence Crawford box David Benavidez, he sort of fed him a shot and just lifted it, and he needed to lift that shot, and we was calling for it all night long. We've been working it all in camp, and he just got a little bit eager, and those are the little moments of slightly inexperienced, you know, keeping himself level. He's super chilled and level-headed when he did drop him. He just, you know, Baranchyk was physically mauling him and tied him up quite well as well. So, it was. I was trying to make sure, like, he didn't need to make it as hard of a fight. Especially afterwards, I was getting animated in the 11th. I was getting animated in the 12th because I knew we were up. But you know, if he'd have just popped the jab out a little bit more, and I know he felt like he was getting countered occasionally because his jab was tired. His jab was a little bit laboured, but you know, he didn't jab anywhere near as enough, and he come out of the fight and was just like, oh, I just felt so comfortable. I wanted to have a fight with him all the time, and that, you know, and as the opposition gets better, even though he's world champion, but you got the elite fighters out there. When that opposition gets better, you can't give away no free shots. So he knows that, you know.
Now, you've mentioned it already in this interview, kind of the acid tests and challenging. I mean, go back as far as Dave Ryan and yeah, and O'Hara Davis. The fight that even looking at Josh when I interviewed him here, the Victor Postel fight is what will stay in my mind. Do you think that was his most significant test? Is that what shaped him to become the world champion he is?
I believe so. I believe that. I believe he needed the. See you, Matt. All right, sound good. I believe he needed the. He needed that acid test before entering the tournament. And a lot of people, the tournament, for instance, we had it all on the line, and it was like, why would you risk him, going into the tournament against Victor Postel? And first off, we'd already made the fight, and second off, we were fully confident that he needed that challenge before stepping up and fighting for a world title, and that was that, and that was his. He come out this fight tonight and said Victor Postel fight was a lot harder because he had to engage his brain and he had to create the distance. Like with Baranchyk falling in all the time, it was easy to pick your moments when to trade, when to move off, when to smother, and although it was physical, it wasn't mentally taxing. So, that's that combination. The real top guys, they're going to make you miss. You're going to make you fall short, and you have to bring your feet in. And he didn't have to go looking for the target tonight. But it was physically a hard fight. So Victor Postel fight is definitely probably still the hardest fight that he's had, but more mentally. And this is the thing with his Regis Progress. It's going to be a skill fight. It's going to be a tactical fight. They're both got the ability to hurt each other, but it's going to be a little bit more patient. But you can't make mistakes.
You mentioned Regis Prograis. Now he's gone, we can talk about him. How difficult a fight is that? I mean, obviously he came through against Kirill Relik. Kirill Relik, rumours at least that he had some weight issues in the build up to that fight. I know you will have watched him. I know you will have already started thinking of a game plan to beat him. Is that likely to be his most difficult fight?
Yeah, I think so. But as I said, it's not going to be as physical. So Josh will keep his composure a lot more. He'll be attacking with his feet a little bit more. And I think, like when guys keep it clean with him, like he will, he looks that much sharper. When they physically get on top, it's just hard to look pretty against Dave Baranchyk. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just think the style that we've got. I believe that he's short. He leans back. He's got good power and he gets people's respect. But like, just say it took some of them shots today, flush, and just like bounced off him. And I'm telling you, he's a hard man. And like he's got anyone can get hurt, but he's got very good hand defenses. Takes the sting out of the shots, and he's not afraid to push you back. And I just think the speed of Taylor in close is just he's never gonna feel that before. It's hard to replicate. It's hard to get someone to emulate that in sparring, and I think we got the beating of him.
Final word on Ivan Baranchyk. As I mentioned earlier on, came to fight from the first bell to the last bell. What did you make of his performance? Really came to fight.
Listen, I thought it was close to being gone in the sixth, and then to come out in the seventh, and not just get through it, but look different. He sat and he was more patient, and he stayed within his stance a little bit more. He wasn't lunging in. I thought he was very well measured. I thought he would have lost his rag once he started dismantling them, and I thought Josh would start really just be able to meet him and really take him out. But because before he hasn't really been hurt, he got dropped by a guy called Abel Ramos, but it was like a flash knockdown, and he was getting it all his own way. But the fact that he did get hurt, and he did have to sort of think about it, took 1 or 2 rounds off, then started to press. And the thing is like Josh gave so many rounds away because he felt comfortable, but he was picking up some rounds, and I think he's a hard night's work for anyone. He really is a hard night's work for anyone. Like, put him against Regis Prograis, give him a nightmare. So, it's hard to look pretty against, but I thought he was a very good fighter, and yeah, he's just got weird combinations. Throws the uppercut, started looping in the left uppercut really well, and Josh has broke his art a little bit. You know, he broke his art, the fact that he was willing to push him back, and you know he calls himself the Beast, calls himself. You know, he believes he's just stronger than anyone at 140, but once the Beast got bullied a little bit, you know, he couldn't fight necessarily on the back foot, so it started getting more predictable. But he's super tough.
Okay, well, before I let you go, and before you let me go and eat my pizza, I don't know if you knew this, you're now the most successful coach in World Boxing Super Series history for number of wins. Of course, you don't have a winner yet. You're now in.
Fanboy, isn't he?
You're now in the. Look, it's called journalism. Not really. Somebody told me. But you are yet to have a winner of the World Boxing Super Series. Obviously, George came up short last year. Is that any extra motivation for you to win it this year?
Of course, like a coach has to be motivated to achieve goals. And if I come in just, I want you to win a British title, I want you to win a Southern Area title, that's not what they're going to thrive on. That's not going to get the best out of them. I don't want mediocre boxers coming to my gym and just being happy to just, I'm not going to take that away from people. It's a very good achievement to win a British title, but I want people to be elite, and be the best boxers they can be, and that's what they're thriving. That's why when they're in the gym, they're all bouncing off each other, and there's a winning mentality. And like I've had 4 losses in my coaching career for 9 years, and I remember them way more than I remember the wins, and it's about making world champions, and this is the third guy that I've worked with that's become a world champion. But it's nice to get a little bit of success, and nice to get a little bit of success. But I want Josh to win the WBSS tournament, and not only that, I want him to become a superstar and box for another 4 or 5 years, make himself a ton of money, and really stamp his legacy. I want him to finish boxing as the best Scottish fighter. Not an argument about it. And that's no disrespect to anybody that's come from here, but I believe he's got the tools to do it, and and that's what he wants as well. So he wants to be, go down in history as the best and a Hall of Famer. So and if he does well, I do well. Maybe one day people won't say he's just McGuigan's son. And that's the thing. It's nice to get a bit of plaudits, but it's just all part of the journey. Tomorrow morning I'm flying back and getting straight in the gym, because I've got another few fighters to train. So this is just another part of the journey. But if we're winning this one, we're winning the WBSS.
Okay, well, I could sit here all night, but what I will do is say congratulations, 3 times a world champion trainer, hopefully many more to come. Shane McGuigan, thanks very much, as always, for making time for Boxing Social. Very much appreciate your time. Once again, congratulations, and look forward to catching up with you soon.
Thanks, Rob. Now go and enjoy that pizza.
I will.
I hope it's a Hawaiian.
No.
Pineapple on pizza. I love it.